Oh wait, do I still need to record my voice? Oh no, I cannot hear you. I think they said 1 moment. Hold. Also, our other game isn't tomorrow, but the next week, right? Because we played this past week.
Yeah, it's next week. All right, I'm going to be switching audio in a second, but if you'd like to look at the live feed, I just was running it temporarily. I'm going to switch over to the countdown timer in a second, but I just wanted to panic check, basically. We can work on composition later and fix a few things, but it seems functionally okay. Okay. I'm going to switch to the intro in a little bit, so you tell me when you've satisfied your curiosity. Jess looks like her satisfactory Jess looks like her curiosity has been satisfied.
Yeah. And I think the voice stuff is already going. I got it on my end.
Oh yeah, you totally have it going. I'm just going to switch over to a pre-roll thing.
Oh.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Probability of Demise. Our show will begin shortly. Looking forward to seeing you in the chat. Out the way, how do I get to the well of the world's end? Struggling and almost without hope, she finally ran across a small old woman who directed her to the well. On arriving at the well, she could not, of course, fill the sieve. She wept and cried. Now, as is the case in stories like this, an anthropomorphic frog came along and said, "What is wrong?" "Oh, I can't fill the sieve." And the frog responded, "Well, I could help you if you promise to do everything I asked for tonight." The girl agreed to the requirement to do everything that frog asked for a night. She agreed, and the frog told her to stop up the holes of the sieve with moss and clay. With that, she carried back the water. Of course, the stepmother was angry at her return. But when the frog arrived, she found out about the deal and she insisted the girl keep her promise. The frog made the girl take her knee, feed the frog supper, and bring her to bed. In the morning, the frog said, "Chop off my head." Aghast and confused about the various demands, but also having fallen under a spell of sorts, she did lop off the frog's head, which immediately transformed into a handsome prince. Now, of course, the stepmother was even more angry at this good fortune befalling this girl. But, as is the case in these stories, the prince married the girl and took her home. What a lovely tale. What a delicious ending. But what happened to this happy couple? And did stepmother let things go with the things as they were, or did she follow up? And where was the father in this entire situation? These are the prompts for a D&D tale. diving into the well of stories. In the days before King Arthur, there was a king who we'll call Freddie. And Freddie had a beautiful daughter. We'll go with Frederica. And a beautiful wife, Frederica Tata. Now, the reason why we leave it with Frederica Tata is because, as it's true of so many of these terribly, terribly sad stories, Frederica Tata died, leaving Frederica and Freddie widowed and bereft of a parent. Seeking to restore his daughter's life to what he felt was normalcy, Freddie sought out a new wife, a wife that was fairly wealthy. But she corrupted him, this new wife, and ended up setting dear King Freddie against Frederica, his daughter. His daughter, being a modern woman of an ancient time, took leave and sought her fortune. Freddie, recalling his love for her in that moment, actually supported and had his new wife provide her some brown bread, hard cheese, and a bottle of beer. So Frederica went on her way. Eventually she met an old man sitting on a stone, and when he asked what she had, she told him and offered some of her bread, cheese, and beer. They sat and ate, and as they ate, he told her, this old man, of how to get through a hedge, and upon gaining entry there, she would find 3 golden heads in a well, and they would tell her things, and that she should do whatever they told her. Interested in seeking her fortune, Frederica followed the directions, came to the hedge, made her way through, and discovered that truly there were 3 golden heads. The heads said, "Oh, please come and wash us." She did so. And after she did so, she looked and realized these are quite lovely little heads. And one said to her, "Oh, you are beautiful." And the next said, "Oh, you have a sweet voice." And the third said, "You will be fortunate and queen to the greatest prince that reigns." She went on, and a king saw her, fell for her. They became betrothed and then married. Upon their marriage, they decided to go visit her father and stepmother and stepsister. Things seemed to be going well, except the stepmother was enraged that her stepdaughter Frederica, and not her daughter, had gained all these things by being sent on a journey. So she decided to send her daughter on that same journey. Now, she was not as well prepared. She was not a modern woman of an ancient times, but rather someone who used to being pampered and treated very well. And she was provided with rich dresses, sugar, almonds, sweetmeats, and a bottle of rich wine. Now the daughter was able to run across the same old man, but she was rude to the old man. And then she slighted the 3 heads. They, in turn, cursed her with leprosy, a harsh voice, and marriage to a cobbler. On she went, and a cobbler offered to cure her leprosy and voice if she would marry him, and she agreed. Of course, dear old stepmother found out her daughter had married a cop or hung herself, leaving Frederica the only heir. And Freddie was put into the position of giving his daughter's husband £100, and he himself had to leave court and live elsewhere for the shame that had been brought upon himself and his family. Always interesting to run into these little stories and see how they fit together. These stories of the well, quite interesting. There are a few others of this nature, but this was one of those stories of the unkind girls trope. You might have heard of Shita Kira's Suzumi or Diamonds and Toads, Mother Hulda, Father Frost. Maybe the Two Caskets or the Old Witch. I think the Three Fairies, Aurora and Naomi, might be more well known, but definitely some interesting things out of England, Scandinavia, and Germany. I think next pre-show I'll hunt up some good stories that are from a different area of the world. It feels like the well trope is definitely something that was celebrated in the Western countries, Europe, etc.
Vulture Lake, and he styles
My
himself
character's
a bit
name
of
is
a poet.
Trixie. Been a little sheltered, and they are, picture if you will, an anthropomorphic squirrel. She is an elven young girl.
There's a field in the back. Let's see how well you hold up.
I mean, and I snatch a dagger. I'm not saying no. I'm not. I want to go, but I just want to understand.
Oh, you're only going if you beat me. Let's go. He starts marching out the back of the door.
I'd go to yoga, but they don't serve donuts there. Now I'm gonna stay right here. Weird. You don't hold stuff back for me. This is not.
Once in your life, you can't charm me.
There's me, and the little squirrel, and the boy.
Oh my god,
And where are we? And it's somewhere stuck in there will be her corner staff. She doesn't like to actually carry anything. Yeah, it's free.
supposed to be also watching the.
Hello, and welcome to the podcast. We just transitioned and we are about a minute late, but that's all on me because I have bad audio today. Because why can't we start a podcast without a problem? But I am Rurik. I am so excited to welcome you to our first episode going live of the podcast, aka Probability of Demise. We are an actual play tabletop role-playing gamer crew composed of pandemic friends. Our POD pod. We play in a world of our own creation using Dungeons and Dragons. Apologies for our puns and memes. We're going to get started with some announcements. Larissa.
If you are local to the NYC area and you are an ally or belong to the LGBTQ community and you like choral music, you should check out the Stonewall Chorale. Our next upcoming concert is on March 26th. It's titled The Music of the Soul, and it'll be featuring the music of the famous jazz pianist Marilyn Williams. It'll be the concert premiere of her Mass for the Lenten season, and it'll be featuring Deanne Wachowski, who is a world-renowned jazz pianist and also the author of Marilyn Williams' biography, Marilyn Williams' Music for the Soul. If you would like to buy tickets, you can find them at stonewallchorale.com/podcast.
Ooh. Oops, sorry. So that takes us on to our
I did send him the link. I'm going to promote this book today, which is blurry. Called,
your camera doesn't want to focus on you.
It's called Savage Legion by Matt Wallace, who's a longtime friend of mine, and this is the first book in a series. It's just a very interesting, like, modern fantasy, very inclusive, very cool, very well told. I'm really enjoying the series, so you should check it out. Savage Legion, Matt Wallace. And also brought to you by beer.
But nondescript beer.
Have you tried beer? You should try it. That's my commercial. That's all I got.
Candy. And nondescript candy.
And Jess, hopefully I'm still being heard.
Mm-hmm.
Sweating. Pits. Not dry at all. Lots of antiperspirant, definitely not dry. Jess, I hear you have a special word of the day.
Jazz word of the day.
The word of the day is bowling ball.
Bowling ball. I dig
Do you
it.
care to illuminate, or are we just going to live with it again?
There's a random statue of when my grandmother was inducted to the Bowling Hall of Fame, and so there's a bowling ball.
I'm sorry, what? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like local or
No,
Come
like
on.
national. She's out in like what is it? And I think it's in Reno, actually.
What? How did you not tell us this before?
I don't know. So I'm like looking. I'm like, what the hell do I say? Oh, bowling ball.
Who doesn't have a relative in the Bowling
Yeah.
Hall of Fame?
Maybe she was old. Isn't that what old people do? They bowl.
She's in there for
Oh.
world's oldest bowler. That's what she was in for.
Well, speaking of bowling balls, your 3 characters are bowling their way back into town. And just so everybody
Nice
has a
segue.
little bit of information, I'm working it. I don't even know where to point at this point because the
I mean,
live
they're
is
seeing-
a few minutes behind so that we can protect the buffering. And so I have no idea
but
where
they're
your
seeing what
screen
you
is.
see, right?
I think Jason is right there.
Okay.
I think Larissa's there, but she could be there.
I mean,
And-
the first one was right for my screen, but I don't know where I am on everybody else's. So we're all just swimming in the ether.
Larissa's to your left, and Jess is up to your.
To the left, to the left.
All right. And Jess is okay, cool.
I'm just gonna wave. I'm Jess.
Nice.
You're confused.
So we are inarticulate and yet articulate at the same time. We are going to go ahead and get started, but these 3 fine folks who are going to have a chance to describe themselves in a moment are currently debarking from a small sailing skiff. Ooh, that was fun to say. Onto the banks of a cliff, which is a very short ledge, just behind the falling water of a very, very special spring that has brought life to a community in a post-apocalyptic Earth. They are survivors, and yet they've already, over the last 500 years, reestablished the beginnings of community and civilization. Born, homegrown, heart of the Overton and Underton community, these 3 were selected and sent off on a mission of dire importance for the well-being of the community, and they made a new choice that is going to shift the trajectory of this small bastion of hope for humanity. And humanity doesn't exactly look like it used to. In fact, let's start with our least human. Larissa, would you like to describe your character as they are debarking from this small sailing skiff?
Picture, if you will, someone of shorter stature along the lines of 3 feet flat, no heels, walking off with gusto and lots of energy, a full jug of maple syrup strapped to her hip by the handle, a shovel strapped across her back. She got goggles on the front, and all over her body she has short but very soft red fur. And upon her head, pointed ears with little cuffs on the end. And you've met Trixie.
And Trixie is disembarking just in front of Jessica. Would you share your character's name?
Yes. All right. So, standing much taller than previously spoken, at about maybe a solid 6 foot. Was a very tall, well-to-do, holds herself chin a little too high, literally looking down at a lot of people. is Tanzanite. She is eerily white with almost like you could see her veins, but they're almost like a bluey purple. And she has on as elaborate of an outfit that she can travel in while still moving. Beautiful, kind of a headband with a stone in the middle, and a backpack full of all of her other clothes and shoes. And yeah, that's Tanzanite.
Don't let her fool you. It's all tiaras.
And Tanzanite, clinking as that is truth, spoken by Trixie, is followed just a little bit more slowly by Jason. Introduce yourself, character.
More slowly? What are you trying to say? So my character is Asher Lake. He is a former resident and performer of odd jobs at one of the local taverns in Overton, and now is becoming a world famous poet and comedian in his own mind. He's got like scruffy, kind of long, dark hair, usually covered with a bowler hat, and he wears like a red travel suit of like a heavier, like durable material. And he just sort of swaggers around, like dreaming of exploring strange new lands and spreading his poetic genius far and wide. And yeah, that's my guy.
Excellent. So as these three adventurers disembark, one last final figure disembarks from this vessel, and they don't appear like they really truly needed the vessel, but a young woman with interesting and fascinating features that seem to belay the need for oxygen. Small gills on the sides of her neck, some additional not decorative, but definitely unique features that seem to indicate that they might be more of the sea breathing rather than the seafaring tribe. And she quietly disembarks, eyes wide, as she beholds what is to her people's most holy of places, revealed to the air for the first time in all of recorded human history. A small, dark, dank entrance, dripping. Not as impressive as you would expect, although there are some carvings in the stone. But this small hole in the cliff behind the waterfall is apparently that source that she mentioned earlier on in your adventures. What are you up to? How are y'all feeling?
First things first, I'm going to take my goggles and pull them down over my eyes because I can't see shit in the dark.
Do squirrels have poor night vision? What's going on?
Yep.
Interesting. I would have assumed the opposite.
I know, right? That's why I was like, well, dang, I can't give myself dark vision. Shit.
So, DM, to make sure that I understand what's happening, we're in our little boat next to the hole.
You've left the boat and stepped on a small ledge of a cliff face that for centuries, millennia, perhaps more, was submerged.
Mm-hmm.
And you're entering into a space that doesn't look quite as impressive as you might have thought based on the previous descriptions as being a source for the waters that in your life experience, you know, are the source of a lot of the strange changes that have occurred to the peoples of Underton and Overton. And yet this is the place, and looking over, you can see this young fish woman is indicating awe for the space that you're entering.
Someone should tie up the boat.
I was gonna ask, and did we
I
tie
will-
up the boat?
Yeah, I'm going to tie up the boat because this is not my show. Like the water thing is a Tanzanite thing, so that's how Asher's
You
doing
just
it.
imagine us getting back at it, just being like out in the middle of the lake.
All right, so Asher ties up the boat,
Asher
ceding
the boat to the rock. Continue.
ceding the rights to the continued leadership of this particular adventure to Tanzanite, as he sees as Tanzanite's major dealing. Trixie has pulled down her night
Jam
vision.
is the official term. This is Jam.
Her jam. Trixie has pulled down her night vision goggles, prepared and ready to delve deep. It looks like the impetus for the next step is turning to Tanzanite.
If everyone looks at me, I look to Bonnie. Be like, oh wait, we can't talk to her yet, can we? The spell
Tongues would definitely have worn off by this time.
Okay. I'm going to...
We are like long rested at this point, right?
Yes, you all should be long rested. So if
Let me
you
make
did
sure I
not
did
already
that.
take a long rest in our last, we did some pre-sessions to get ourselves warmed up and try out some different things. Which maybe if we ever become super famous, we'll happily release to the world. But at this point, they're a growth effort. A lot of growth on my part.
A lot of me.
These three came out
the F word and
performing
failing.
wonderfully.
I mean, we're not monetized yet. So
Yeah, if you want to sponsor us, please feel free. Oh, we need to be sponsored by a night vision goggles company.
yes! Or a shovel company.
Everybody
This
gets
podcast
legendary
is brought to you by Shovel.
I feel like all of our gear comes from whatever we get sponsored by. That's the only loot that we get.
That's the
That would
only
be a good way to garner sponsors, though. Be like, would you like your items featured in our podcast?
Our DM will homebrew your gear into our podcast. Welcome. This is called Dig Deeper, the shovel that just keeps going.
No.
Speaking
No.
of our podcast, I would like to go over to Bonnie and touch her on the arm and cast tongues so that we can speak with her.
Aww.
None of us speaks fish.
I was gonna use my ASL. I had been practicing.
Well, that makes one of us because I still don't know the other. I know.
I got yes.
Yes.
No.
There's one that's like.
Oh. Run. Is
that right? Or where's my thumb? Okay.
Pinky. Take your pinky. Put it in your thumb.
Hey, this is post-apocalyptic, like nuclear evolution.
I'm surprised I have any of these.
No phalanges on squirrels these days. They just.
You know what?
This is what's known as nuclear sign language.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Great tongues.
NSL.
I haven't been here without a guide. So,
neither have we.
Okay, so here at the entrance, we stop. And we go in. And she just starts walking in.
I follow.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Asher, as you're going in, you are suffering from the effects of this dark space. How are you handling not being able to see in this space? It is dark.
I'm gonna reach out and like put a hand on Bonnie's shoulder and just try to like follow her. Be like, I can't see. Sorry, I'm trying to follow you.
Oh, you're missing all the beauty. And as she says that, Tanzanite and Trixie, you look around because night vision goggles and dark vision. You look around. It's a cave. It's a fairly bland cave.
A cave of wonders. Sorry.
But Bonnie's face appears transcendent. Do you see all the hieroglyphs and the glow of the ancients?
I'm not riding the same ride she is. I mean, even with my goggles, I can't. No.
Can I like go up to like where she's looking at that like moment where she's talking about the hieroglyphs and stuff, and like maybe like touch my stone
Boop.
and just try to like see what she sees or figure out if it's just like a mer person thing.
Go ahead and roll a religion check.
First roll of the night.
Ah!
Did you just natural one?
Okay, I know we haven't officially agreed to the idea that if you roll in that 20, the DM drinks. If we roll in that one, y'all drink. But I'm starting to wonder.
If that's the case, I need ammunition.
So 24.
Wow.
24 total, or was that a nat 20 plus 4?
Nat 20 plus 4.
Good start.
Nothing
Solid.
like starting off with a nat 20. So this doesn't even cost you a spell slot. Because
Oh!
in this moment of divine insight, you snap into focus and you decide that whatever she sees, you can see. And as you think, you feel this shift in your mental presence. And unlike when your goddess previously spoke to you, you now truly have snapped into the holy sight. And you too see text, but it's not hieroglyphs that you don't understand. These are the words of your deity. Reading over what you see here on this wall, you get the story. And the numbers are almost foreign to you because in this life, numbers this big have not existed, but you've heard merchants use numbers this big. Over 10,000 years ago, she was trapped within this space as a great ice age closed in the last remnants of the old gods and magic on Earth. Held here, huddled in this small source of power, she persevered with a few other elders, and now is free yet again. And there appears to be sources of power, a strange foreign series of sources of power scattered all about the old world, remade in some other creature's image. And she's desperate to seek these out. She needs to free her disciples, her people, so that they can scour the world beneath the waves for every source that might further fuel her abilities and restore her to power. And if necessary, help care for her colleagues in exile. And you see a few different imagery pieces that aren't text, aren't word, but definitely brimming with that holy power. Something about a giant, something referring to a bird-like creature of flame, a dragon, possibly, and a small sprite. There are others, but they are smaller and less distinct and more eroded by the wave action that had occurred down here over the last several centuries. But the last piece really solidifies your understanding. They were frozen down here, under here, for millennia. From their last freedom till now. They sought refuge here and are now reestablishing themselves across the world. So that's what a nat 20 gets you.
I just gonna go, and also look around.
I feel like a 2 would have been like, and there's words at the end.
It uses up all your spell slots. That suddenly you can see that there are some sort of strange symbols on the walls. Interesting. Oh, by the way, you're magically dead for the rest of the session. All right. So what are the other two of you up to? I know that Asher is basically functionally blind here, but Trixie, you can see. And you don't see these words.
I'm going to just do one of these back to Asher and be like, did they get into your mushrooms?
I don't know what is happening. Hey,
Okay, well,
Tanzanite, what's up? What's going on over there?
Just a lot of information I didn't know.
okay, and who's talking to you?
I mean, no one's talking to me. I'm just reading and seeing.
Okay.
And then I want to be like that crazy person who like kind of grabs her face and I'm like, here, this says, like trying to get her to see.
I'm really, I don't see anything.
Larissa, go ahead and just roll a perception check just to see, like you're being forced, your face is being forced into the cave.
Let me shove my face in it.
And like grabbing her hand, being like, you see this?
I rolled right out of the tray.
It was a natural.
With guidance because I'm touching her.
Yeah.
Grabbing her face.
You're really trying to make sure she can see this, so you're. So guidance would add a 1d4 to the terrible roll that makes her so anxious.
Okay, perception. That's a 12, and that's with a +6 perception modifier and guidance.
Delicious.
Woof.
What? I don't even want to know what you rolled. As long as it wasn't a nat 1, I don't need to know. All right. Hey, you got a 2 out of the guidance. So that's a bonus. So you're looking, and there's a cave wall. It looks like it might have been sandstone. It's an interesting texture. Worn, certainly. Eroded. If there was some sort of texture at any point, it's well past gone. And shoved up closer to it, you can see that there's a small water spider trapped in a little bubble of water that's been hanging out, which is very distracting for a moment.
I poked the water bubble.
Psh, the water bubble goes and the spider starts spasming as it dies.
Oh, now I get it. Sorry.
You hear a small pipsqueak voice. You suck.
But
and y'all just.
I want to touch the spider, and let me make sure. Yeah, and I want to do. I don't know if I can do this because I haven't done it yet, but I'm gonna go. It's not your time, little fella, and do spare the dying.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
No.
You're gonna have a water
No,
spider
not yet.
pet because of this. So you cast spare the dying, and you see yes. And it just seems to a bit fallen asleep, but for whatever reason, spare the dying just gives it enough of a survival that instead of perishing, it is going to survive for a little while until you can either get it to water or spare the dying fades away.
Pick it up and I'll take it and I'll toss him into the water. No.
Okay.
Bye. And then I race back over to everyone. He's a
I'm-
water spider. Water spider.
I didn't know. It just looked like a spider trapped in a bubble. Okay,
I think you're below
I-
me, so I gotta go like this. You.
I'm the
What?
crazy-
Asher, you just
I'm the
black
crazy
shadows
one.
have been running back and forth in all the words that they're saying, but this is black shadows and darkness.
I'm going to set down my bag and pull out a torch and
Oh God, my eyes!
prestidigitate it alive. Lit it up.
Suddenly, things are lit up much better, and you're seeing the cave as described so far, unless you're trying to stare at it more closely or being dragged facefully. I'm going to
Can
go
I-
with
can I
facefully,
see
not
the-
forcefully.
Can I see the words or just the cave?
It's just the cave wall. It looks like an eroded, like there's a nice, cool texture to it. Like this isn't sandstone on dry land. It's definitely been eroded by the waves, but you don't see any text unless you want to examine it closely. Is that
I
what
would
you're
like
doing?
to stare closely at the wall and yeah, that's all I got.
So you've been spelunking a lot. That's part of your background of your youth. You spent it digging into caves trying to find old texts, and so this is definitely of interest to you. So I'll say that you can use a perception check, and if you don't already have proficiency in it, go ahead and add your proficiency to this particular perception check.
What was perception check? Okay.
Yeah.
I heard that roll from here.
Yeah, it's pretty loud. That is a
The door closed.
7.
Okay.
That was a poor roll.
Are you doing anything else to help clarify what you're seeing, or
Maybe. I'm gonna keep staring. Go to somebody else for a second. That's it.
okay?
I'm gonna walk over to him and hit him on the shoulder because he literally just lit up a bright light while I was wearing night vision goggles. And I'm gonna say, give somebody a warning next time. Jesus. I'm like,
Why?
because I could go blind.
From what? From the torch?
Yeah, because these make me see in the dark. So when it's not dark, it's very bright.
How was I supposed to know that? Who's
I'm just saying, like the rest of us adjusted, you could have said, "Hey, by the way, I can't see. I'm gonna light a light." I'm
you
just
act
saying.
like some kind of night vision goggle is like a common everyday thing that someone would know.
You used them. I lent them to you, like yesterday. You used them to keep watch on the boat.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah, that was totally me forgetting about that. Never mind.
Roll with this. This is awesome.
I didn't know that like a torch would.
Well,
Sorry.
you know.
Well, sorry.
I
won't do it
appreciate the
again.
apology. Thank you. Just a little heads up would be good. I'm still trying to blink away stars.
So, having been lectured by a small squirrel person, Tanzanite, what are you doing?
I am basically, until we start to like walk again, I'm still just like taking everything in. I'm just looking.
Everybody, just tell me what your passive perception is, really quickly.
16.
Same as I.
13.
All right. Okay. So I think it takes you a second, Tanzanite, and at the same moment as Trixie, you kind of like finish your lecture, start looking at Bonnie's gone.
Well, crap. And I just kind of like swivel my ears to see if I can hear, because I'm assuming it's just straightforward, right?
You haven't really explored the cave beyond what's here, but go ahead and roll a perception check.
Okay, different die this time. Better. 19.
You can hear some humming deeper in the cave outside of the ring of light cast by the torch.
That way. I think.
I'm still staring at the wall, and then I'm going to say, this is where I should point out that Asher's poetic genius is entirely haiku. It's the only type of poems that he knows how to make. And that's how he casts his spells. So I don't see these words. Feeling a little left out. Need to stare harder. And he just like stares harder at the wall and casts detect magic.
All right. Go ahead and roll a wisdom saving throw.
Whee! Bad. That is a 6. No modifier. I am not a wise.
You have a torch lit up.
I'm not a smart man.
And you think you're prepared for what's about to happen, and then you are blinded. It is exactly like what happened to Trixie when the night goggles suddenly went with a flare of the torchlight, except this time you're caught unprepared for the brilliant flash of light everywhere all around you. It is radiant in a painful way, and you are going to take 2d6.
Oh, ruh-roh, Raggy.
Are you at all resistant to the happy holy magics? You're going to take 2d6 radiant damage. Okay. Well, I am a crappy roller, so you took 2 points of damage.
Yay!
Good.
I got snake eyes.
Oh.
I feel like that means you should take 2 points of damage because that's double nat ones, kind of. Not really.
Yeah.
It's
Now
just
there's
water,
a need
but
for
I'll
an
pretend.
excuse. Yeah, after intermission, that's when the
That's
hard
when
stuff comes out.
It's like the opposite of a baseball game. We open the bar at intermission.
Yeah. All right. So as your eyes settle back in, and it hurts, your eyes, even though there's only 2 points of damage, it feels like your eyes are on fire, bleeding, painful. But what settles down is there's just a ton of radiant magic all over the wall, and it's just getting stronger the deeper you look into this cave. It's a fire pit of radiance. Holy, holy, holy magic. And I don't think in your experience you've ever seen anything like this based on your background and what you've done in your life. This might just be the strongest source of anything that you've ever, even your good friend Nee has nothing on this.
But can I read the words on the wall?
Do you happen to speak Draconic?
I did not.
Then no. There are definitely words, but they are not in a language you understand.
All right. I'm just gonna like fall down like on my knees, like just all this brightness. I could just cover my eyes, and be like, "Oh my god, I don't know what I did something. I don't know what I'm doing."
Hang on, and I walk over and I like out of my herbalism kit, I take out a little piece of like willow bark, and I just like gnaw on it quick, and make it into like kind of like a why can't I think of the word of like when wood is but like when wood is like almost like sawdust but wet. Not mulch, maybe? Kind of.
Nope, but we all know what you're talking about.
Well,
you're putting saliva wood in his eyes.
Yes. Well, I more like just like I'm just like a compress kind of like around his eyes to like.
Oh, I'm down for this.
I'm not
Can you roll a medicine check?
I'm not spitting in his eyes.
I just need a medicine check.
I just like take it and I just kind of like press it.
Please just roll the medicine check.
I'm sorry. Do you not want me to continuously talk about my spit?
I mean, I will totally, if I have to, hold one of you down and lick your
Really?
eyeballs.
I'm just kidding. It's an 8. Hang on. Natural infinity. Ooh,
Definitely going to add compression to your audio.
I put light on there. Do you want me to move it to medium?
Maybe.
Okay.
You are an enthusiastic human being. I always
Me?
forget.
Never.
Yeah.
Okay. It's on medium now.
There,
that
will
would
help
be
the people not be deafened.
what?
That will help our viewers not experience the deafened.
Gotcha.
Can't believe you fell for that.
It's all right. They'll learn. 14.
All right, so
Or they'll
yeah,
get me back later.
you place it on, and I think that the pain eases. It doesn't replace your hit points, but you're definitely able to. That her assistance, even though she is putting her saliva wood all over your eyeballs, is
I just sneak that in one more time, didn't you?
I can't help it. Is such
What's a
that
little bit
you.
of saliva wood between friends?
It's pulp. That's what it is. Pulp.
Thank you. I was close with mulch.
So this pulp compress eases the pain, and you are able to peek at it and then peel your eyes open and get a better glance at this. If you are seeking to somehow record or keep track of what this is.
I would like to take out my journal and try to copy down the words, even though I don't know the language.
Okay. So go ahead and just roll really quickly an intelligence check. Actually, an intelligence saving throw. No. Yeah, intelligence check. Just see how well you get it down.
Check.
Yep.
18.
Okay. Yeah. I would say that taking some time, it probably takes you a bit while Trixie and Tanzanite are doing whatever they're about to be doing. But you're able to create kind of a journal entry. You've done this before. You've taken these types of notes. And you can say that you're pretty satisfied with the accuracy of your rendition.
Okay.
Trixie and
Also,
Tanzanite.
check out my dice tray because the wood one seems to be very loud with the middle dice.
Oh yeah, those are. Trixie and Tanzanite, you have about 20 minutes of either chilling there watching your friend Asher draw in a book, or catching with Bonnie. You heard her humming.
Yeah, I would have definitely gone up to Bonnie and said, is everywhere like this?
So to get up to her, you would actually have to catch up to her. So walking deeper into the cave, following the sounds of her humming, is that what you would be doing? Because recall, she had disappeared from your sight.
Right.
In my head, she's following the sound of oh.
Don't do that. Copyright.
Just change one note and it'll be fine.
It's much more along the lines of this. She's not a great singer.
Well, shoot.
It sounds better underwater.
I'm gonna just go. I'm gonna go find Bonnie. She disappeared. Just
I'm just like, okay.
don't move.
I don't know the
I'm
language.
gonna go.
I'm like focusing very hard to like copy these weird letters.
I'm gonna go find her and mark where I'm going if I have to make turns, and bring her back. And remind her, once I get to her, remind her, be like, you're our tour guide. You can't just leave us. We need you.
Great. So as you go to catch up with her, it takes a little bit to navigate through the cave. Just let's roll just a athletics check to see how quickly you're able to navigate this foreign territory.
All right. Athletics. A 12.
So it takes you a bit. It takes you about 5 minutes to try to get caught up to her. She knows the space, even though she's walking in it for the first time. She knows how the space is laid out, and so she's gotten quite a bit further ahead of you. And when you catch her or catch up to her, she looks like it's so different. But there it is, and she gestures to a column. It looks like a stalactite and a stalagmite have met in the middle, and instead of coming to a finer point at the middle, there's a bulbous section.
Is it a solid thing? Is it a liquid thing? Is it?
As you get a little bit closer and examine it, it looks like it's stone, but something different about it. It's got a shimmer or a shine to it that you don't associate with stone, especially the sandstone in this cave so far. Are you getting closer?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get closer, and I'm gonna ask Bonnie and be like, and I'm gonna pull out that little thing I have of the water, and I'm like, this is that? They're very different compounds. One's wet and one's hard.
So, because you are getting closer, would you go ahead and roll an investigation check as Bonnie says to you,
Investigate.
oh, this is the source where it comes from.
Okay, that will be a 17.
Cool. So what you see is a strange contraption and a trefoil symbol in the middle of it. It doesn't appear to be of stone. It appears to be much more similar to the metalworking that folks do up in Overton. And this trefoil design has a center dot point and then the three curved trapezoidal shapes off of the sides going in the three different directions. And it appears to be a faded yellow. And there's some text underneath it that may or may not be something you understand, but at the top there is a word that you do know that has moved forward with time in common, and it says warning.
So it says move forward with time, warning.
No, it doesn't say move forward with time, but with time, this word has transferred forward. Sorry, my description was terrible. But this is a term or a word that has definitely moved forward over time and has been continued as a term that you use today with common. It just says warning. And the term below it is unfamiliar.
Can I tell you what languages I speak and maybe I speak it?
Yeah, sure.
Nope, that's the wrong button. Languages. Common, Elvish, Sylvan, Undercommon.
I think in Undercommon, you know that this symbol has been prevalent and is something that has been like people know that it's an indication of something historically dangerous, but nobody really remembers why.
Okay.
So put the water around it like it used to be, and that will be your water.
Water. I have water. Do I have water? I have to have water. I'm gonna check my inventory to see if I have water.
There's a waterfall outside.
It's too far away. I got a water skin. I take my water skin out and I dump it on it. Well, I wait. I don't. I go, okay, Bonnie. I go to do it. I stop. I go, Bonnie. I just dump the water on this. Is that right?
Yeah. Or you could just touch it now. And she reaches her hand forward and then stops herself and pulls back really quickly. Oh, we're not supposed to do that.
Did you touch it?
No.
Are you supposed to touch it?
No.
Okay, so don't touch it. Okay. So I'm going to pull out the I was supposed to say the goblet. It's not a goblet. The thing of water holding. What the heck is that thing called?
The decanter.
Decanter.
The decanter.
I'm gonna pull out the decanter because I'm not totally
Until-
sure of what's gonna happen. So I want to have it open and ready, and I'm gonna like, and I'm gonna like try to pour the water so that it's like goes down the thing. I don't know if that will do anything, but and then I'm gonna hold the decanter and be like, just ready for whatever happens.
So I want you to just roll a acrobatics check because I feel like this is you trying to do a jiggle, and you have not asked for any help. So it's just going to be this moment of like, how much water
think
can
of
you
asking?
Roll for jiggle.
Ooh, okay, so 17 plus 3, 17, 18, 19, dirty 20.
All right, so you jiggle,
My
and
goddess
then you
is with me.
pour, and as you pour, you get the opening to the decanter placed just perfectly that you get that drip over, and there's a couple of drops that fall outside of it, but the major component of your water skin, basically you're draining your water skin right into it, and as the water pours down over this thing, you can feel a vibration, and it's not a physical vibration, it's at your core, and the water, a couple of drops that splatter you, you can feel a change start to happen, but it stops. And then the decanter is full. Your water skin is empty. And it's all over.
So the decanter is full.
Anticlimactic.
Decanter's full, water skin empty. Okay. Bonnie, I'm gonna sit here for a minute. Can you go get the others and when they're done doing whatever the heck they're doing, will you bring them here? Like tell them how to get here? Show them the way?
Oh yeah. I'm yeah. Did it do what you wanted it to do?
I don't know. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna check it out.
Okay.
Oh, also, before you leave, totally off topic, kind of weird, but before the spell ends, has there been anything you want to say to us that you haven't been able to, like a word, and then we can like pick a movement for it right now?
Help.
Help. That's a great word. Okay. This. Wait, right hand or left hand?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay. Help. Got it. Perfect. Okay. I'm gonna chill here, and I'll see you in a bit. Help. Got it. I don't need help right now, but I'm just practicing.
Okay. I'll go get.
There's a lot of traffic in this cave.
I'll get our friends. Hello, New York. We know you're there.
Yes, yes, you're welcome. You featured, sponsored by New York City.
Sponsored by the honking people.
Yes.
So Bonnie departs. You are alone there in front of what is potentially the holiest of holy things in your worldview, maybe. And you've got your decanter of very holy water.
I just want to sit and try to like meditate with the water like on me, holding the water, touching my stone and seeing if being in this space does anything.
All right, so go ahead, and while I get to the other people, I just would like you to do a couple of rolls for me. I need you to do one religion check.
Okay, religion.
I need you to do one wisdom saving throw. And then I need you to do 2d12s. Okay?
2d12s.
And add those 2d12s together.
Is it a wisdom saving throw?
Yes.
Okay.
So, Trixie and Asher. Asher, you're jotting down, and as you're like kind of getting halfway through, you're aware that Bonnie has come back. And Trixie, you see Bonnie coming back, but without Tanzanite. She comes up, and at this point, the spell is expired.
Tanzanite told me not to move. So I'm not moving.
So Bonnie points after trying to wave you and points to where Tanzanite left and then waves you forward again.
Oh, can I move now? And
She just looks very confused.
Grit. Hey, are you done yet? You muted?
You muted yourself.
Or no?
Almost. Sorry, I muted myself when the horn started honking outside. Almost done. Give me a second. I think I'm almost done, right?
Yeah. So are you willing to wait for the few moments?
Well, I'm not gonna leave him by himself because he can't see in the dark.
Bonnie just sits there waiting patiently, and then about 5 minutes later, he finishes. And the two of you, what are you up to now?
I'm gonna put my book away and pick up my torch, and then follow Bonnie.
All right. Trixie?
Yeah. I'm going in front. You follow, so I don't have to stare at that thing.
Awesome. Tanzanite. Did you get your dice rolls done?
Yes.
Religion check. Please lay it on me.
An 11.
Okay. No. With an 11, you definitely, especially in this place, it doesn't take much for you to connect. You're not getting a lot of information, but you definitely get approval. Combined with all you've learned, you just have this overwhelming presence saying, without words, you done good, kid.
It's like a spiritual pat on the butt. Good game.
Good game.
Good game. Slap. What did you roll for your wisdom saving throw?
Wisdom saving throw 19.
Oh, you just passed, you silly so-and-so.
Thank God. My wisdom's kind of high, so that helped, I guess.
I knew that's why I had the high DC for that one, because this is a special religious space. So what did you roll for your 2d12s? Because this is what the wisdom saving throw was for.
I got a 4.
Oh,
2 and a 2.
You are so protected at this point. So, yeah, the two of you, or you, see a creature.
I see a creature?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Begin to, with the wisdom saving throw, begin to form from the walls of the cavern near you. And the start of the creature feels very reminiscent of how a black ooze or a black pudding might move. But then this starts to solidify in a different shape and become a bit of a crab shape. We will, at one point, sorry, I'm responding to chat a little bit here. We will, right before we go on our break, do a quick rundown of classes and levels for those folks who are very curious.
No, it must remain a mystery.
Yeah, we're not Critical Role. We might have dreams, but we're not there yet.
I mean, we got the dice goblins, so.
True. There's a lot of dice goblins in this group.
Ow.
So
I hit my knee. It was my left knee.
You didn't need that one. You only need your middle knees.
Keep going.
The creature.
So the crab person
starts to form these claws that reach up towards you, but because you are able to resist this wave of what you think of as the anti-deific magic and shove it away, you catch sight of it before this crab's claw-like creatures in this semi-humanoid shape reaches forward to try to bite your head off. Go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh! Oh no! What did you
Not
not?
20!
Oh my god!
How is this possible?
Please note, viewers, that I never roll very high, let alone 2 nat 20s.
Wow.
I feel
I'm
like
always
this
the
is
low
By
roller.
the goddess.
My goddess is with me. Papa.
So we just like walking up into this room and rolling initiative. Is that
you,
what
you,
you're
you
not
won't,
even
you're,
there
you're not
yet.
even there yet. You're not
Okay.
even there yet. She may have solved this before you get there. I would hate to see that happen, but she may have. So
3 more nat 20s and this is done, Jess. No problem.
So what are you doing?
I
First
am.
round of ridiculousness. And since it is a nat 20, you do get to do 2 rounds before they do, because they did not roll a nat 20 when I pre-rolled this.
Oh, poor leg.
I'm not disappointed at all that my surprise, especially since the party got split early, it was really exciting.
You never split the party.
I am going to clutch my pearls, but clutch my headpiece and point and cast Toll the Dead.
Awesome. We got people who may not be playing, so can you go ahead and give a quick description of what this looks like, what it sounds like, and then what it's going to do?
Holy moly! Okay, I'm still learning with you guys. So when I do my pointing of the what's this voice? When I point, there are bells that fill the room, and I guess would it be?
Go for it.
You get to decide. This is your artistic license. Describe how your spell goes.
When a creature and the sound of bells fills around the room.
You can even remaster it as another sound if you would prefer. Just has to be loud.
I like the idea of bells, but can I mix it like stereotypical crazy like church bells,
Dong, dong,
but
dong, dong.
with like that roar of a waterfall, kind of.
Dong, dong, dong. So at this point, as she casts that, Asher and Trixie, you are going to hear it. So you can go ahead and roll initiative in the background while we move forward with what she's doing. I believe that Toll of the Dead requires a saving throw from my
Wisdom
Krabby Crabs.
14.
Ooh, and they did not make their save. Roll the damages.
Is this a D8? I think I do a D8. Let me make sure. I don't want to cheat. Yeah, 2D8. All right. So, 7 and a 3.
Okay, so
10 points.
that bell happens in what was like a shadowy form. You can see that the shadow falls away a bit, revealing much more of this strange carapace that is a deep violet color, and you can see that the sound wave that you created starts cracking the outer edges of their clawed mandibles. And you have definitely begun something now. Because you do have a natural 20, that means you get to do another attack round if you would like. So is there anything else you would choose to do at this moment?
How close am I at this moment?
I would say based on where you said you were sitting, you are super close.
Okay, so I first want to move 30 feet
You're
away.
like within touching distance of them at this moment. So
Yeah, I want to go 30 feet away.
all right. As you move away, they are going to take an attack of opportunity.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So
Shit.
does a 13 hit?
No.
Okay. So you see that one of the claws just go, and you just slip away into the darkness of the cavern. And what are you up to?
I would like to. Let me see. Like I said, I'm still learning with you guys because this is my first time playing a magical wielding person.
Spellcaster.
Yeah, that word. I am going to
Wield magic.
cast at 2nd level my spiritual weapon.
All right. What
Really
does your
cool
spiritual
little
weapon,
menu.
as you bring that into the existence, look like?
It is going to be. Before I say that, let me make sure. Go to my inventory. Yes, it's basically a replica of the mace that I have, just really, really big. And the mace is just like looks way too ornate to be like an actual weapon. Just crystals and just shine and beautifulness. Because for those who don't know, Tanzanite's from under 10, where there's a lot of access to gemstones and whatnot. So it's just covered in stuff.
Under 10, where rhinestones are more affordable than iron nuggets to embed in your mace.
Yep. And so it's basically a really big version of that.
Awesome. So go ahead and roll the attack, I think it is.
Yeah.
Getting Harley Quinn vibes.
Didn't even think of that. But yes.
It's at the heart of who you want to be. Secretly Harley Quinn's best friend.
Okay. +6. Okay. 15 plus 6, so 21. What? Is that a?
Yeah, that might
I was
hit.
asking more math-wise. I'm like, what is math?
Yes, that definitely hits. So go ahead and roll the damage too.
Okay. Oh god. Ooh, an 8. Y'all are rolling so well. An 8 plus a 3, so 8, 9, 10, 11. I never rolled this well.
We're
This
going
is
to
our
So
first
you-
live.
You see again, like your mace cracks into the claw that hadn't really cracked as much, and you see that it's now like got that look of an egg, a hard-boiled egg, when you first like bonk it and then you start like rolling it so that it gets a little crackly all over. You can see that claw is just looking very ragged. The other claw still looks somewhat functional, but you've definitely done a lot of damage. At this point, it reaches back a bit, and with the still successfully well-maintained claw, grabs a stalactite from behind it and jerks it forward, throwing it towards you. Does
I'm not a
a
monk anymore. I can't dodge.
18 hit?
That's my score.
Oh, only an 18 AC. Sorry.
Yeah, right.
So this stalactite comes flying at you, and as it gets close to you, it just explodes. Dust and debris going everywhere, and it hits you for 12 points of damage.
Jesus
Whoa.
Christ.
And with all of these noises having happened, Trixie and Asher, you hear all this happening. What was your initiative rolls so we can figure out how you're able to react? 8?
12.
12. Okay, so Trixie, you'll be next up, and then Asher will be right after that. So Trixie, you hear this loud noise. You know something is happening in the distance. Asher, you've also heard this as well, but Trixie, what are you going to do immediately in the aftermath of hearing the first toll of the bell?
I'm gonna say that doesn't sound good, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna say I'll see you there, and I just take off.
Okay, so in this, to get anywhere closer, you're going to use your movement and your action, especially if you're taking off. So that's awesome. As you're running,
I don't have the thing. Never mind.
eventually, not yet.
Okay. you
You
know what I
take
have.
off and you come around the corner of the cave to see that moment as that stalactite goes smashing into your recent friend Tanzanite. Do you have a bonus action that you want to do?
I didn't remember. Also, my first melee character.
Yeah.
What do I have for bonus actions? I can't reach anything, so. Oh, wait. I can step of the wind and get
All
closer.
right. So you're going to step out the wind as a bonus action to get even closer to it.
Yeah.
And are you going towards this creature or are you going towards your friend?
Oh, I'm going straight at it.
Okay, so you're able to get within melee range of the creature. So that'll be good to know on your next turn. Asher, what do you do in reaction to this loud noise?
After Trixie runs by me, I'm just gonna run after her. So
Trixie kind of takes off from in front of you, and then you just darting after her. Are you also going to use both your action and your movement to get close?
yes.
All right. So again, you're able to turn the corner at the end of your full movement, and you can see the same tableau, especially because you can look right over the top of Trixie, and you see Trixie like hesitate for half a second, and then suddenly she's a blur again, and she's appearing right next to the creature, this strange crustacean-like creature. Do you have any bonus actions that you can use?
I'm gonna yell out at Trixie. Sometimes all you need is a few inspiring words. This isn't that, but I'm casting bardic inspiration on
Yeah.
So bardic inspiration, don't forget you have it.
Also a
I'm
moat.
not going to remind you.
Is that a D8?
I think he's at a
D6.
D6 still.
D6.
1d8. Yep.
Oh, you're at D8 now. Ooh, levels happened. All right, that brings us back to the top of the order with you, Tanzanite. What are you up to? Oh, wait. Sorry, one last.
Also, don't forget you have a motive potential that you can.
Yes.
Basically, you have like a double inspiration because of
Right.
my creation part.
One last thing happens right before it's Tanzanite's turn. You can hear a yelp in the background, back behind, and then in some sort of weird, strange, awkward language, you can just hear from Bonnie's voice, and she doesn't appear visually, but you can tell that she's getting closer as she's screaming at the top of her lungs something. Tanzanite.
And Murloc.
Staff. You're muted, my love.
So she's screaming something, but we
She's
can't.
screaming something in her language that.
Does it? Oh, it's in her language.
Stop it.
Does it sound like distressed or maybe anger or?
Roll an insight check.
Wait, is that a 6 or a 9? Oh, snap! It's
This
a 9.
insight check brought to you by
15.
Okay. Oh yeah, 15. It's definitely surprise mixed with a hint of fear, maybe suppressed fear.
I don't know. I mean, it did go after my head, so obviously it wanted to attack me. But I wish I knew what she was saying. I want to. I want to pull out my new crossbow. Oh, wait, that's an action to load it, though. Okay.
Action or bonus action?
I don't know. DM?
Sorry.
Even if it is an action, which I can't remember right now, my memory is not that hot. I would say that you probably have it prepared for quick loading. So let's use it as a bonus action this time, and we can decide what the real rules are one day when we all actually pay attention to the real rules.
Okay.
But this is D&D for fun, not D&D for rules.
So in that case, I want to have it loaded with the dart that would have
dramatic.
paralyzed.
Oh, your blowgun.
Oh, blowgun! It was a blowgun, not a dart.
Yes.
Not a crossbow.
No, blowgun, no load action here. You just
Great.
pop that sucker in.
Right. So I'm pulling out my blowgun. I have a blowgun. And with one of the preloaded ones that would have paralyzed Asher. And take aim. I can't guidance myself, so I'm gonna just go, Goddess, you've been with me so far, and then blow.
Oh, right. You're the one with the mushrooms. I thought it was Asher. No, it's you.
All right,
I
so
have
with a
mushrooms.
quick twit, that dart flies across, roll the attack. Oh, thank you, Aaron.
Blow dart.
So Aaron is awesome and said that for rules as written, crossbow is a bonus action.
Ah, perfect.
Give archery match. So cool. I always forget because I don't use crossbows very often, and I don't think I've DM'd for many people who use crossbows. I'm used to the rangers who just.
But
go
it was a
ping, ping,
magic
ping, ping.
one.
Oh yeah.
What do I add for a blow dart? Do I add anything?
You should have proficiency with that weapon. So if you have it equipped, you should get to. I don't remember. Do you want my
blowgun.
memory?
I found it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Good. It's your character sheet, not mine. I'm having a hard enough time keeping track of the.
Okay.
Creatures stats.
So 15, 16, 17, 8. No, that's not right math. 15, 16, 17. No, 18. Okay, 18.
Okay.
Attack.
So 18 hits. Barely.
Oh, God. Oh, God. I was like, shit.
It hits. It definitely hits. So as that hits, I know I didn't share with you the specifics of the paralysis effect, but it's going to go ahead and make the Constitution saving roll, and it makes it. For the Constitution saving roll, you can jot this down somewhere if you want to. They have to get a 14 or higher to succeed. This one just rolled an 18. And it's going to take half. It's going to take the full damage, so you can roll the damage for it, but it's going to take half the slow effect that is caused by this paralysis.
Okay.
So it is going to have disadvantage on dexterity moves, etc., but it is not currently under any of the constraints that live in a normal, happy. This is kind of like a homebrew poison that was meant to be a really funny thing to do to Asher, and is turned into a real thing that is being used against me.
Oh no, the consequences of my own actions.
Look, here comes the consequence.
So I don't roll anything, it's just a damage of 4, it says.
Yeah. Okay, great. So, I don't ever remember these things because very rarely used. So that flex into, you can see again that like where it hits, a quick raise of the claw is intended to deflect it, but instead just leaves them open, and you can see another piece of something shiny that looks like another form of the carapace maybe, but it's just a little bit wetter and damper looking, and it whacks into that, and you can see little cracks starting to form around where the little tiny dart hit. Bonus actions?
Bonus action, I want to whack it again with my spiritual weapon.
Bonk! Roll the attack.
Oh no. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11.
That does not hit. So sorry. The big, huge crystal club of doom full of gems and bedazzlement flashes through the now torchlight as Asher has run up, and thunk.
Oh man!
Side that the creature, having reacted to this dart, has just shifted out of range at the last possible moment. That takes us to the creature that is now enraged and upset. Is going to go darting at you, Tanzanite, but this means that Trixie gets an attack of opportunity.
You want me to do that now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If you want to do it.
And I just, time to meet my shovel. And I just, in like one motion, I two-hand draw it across my back in a swinging motion and go to attack it.
Ever closer to the beginning of the podcast. Thank you for your patience and for listening to these silly folk tales. If you have a folk tale you would love to have read in the prequel to our podcast, feel free to reach out, post a comment, and share some of your favorites. We are growing ever closer to the beginning before we get to the end. So, we are back. Hopefully we have audio as well. And if not, we'll just cry. We're coming back on a little early. We still have a few seconds left on our timer. So if you're still putting away that delicious cheese sandwich and tomato juice, banana bread surprise, don't worry. You have time to chug that thing down. Chat's been lively. We got a chance to hear all about Jason's secret life before us, where he was an amazing, famous published author with a wealth of wealthiness and a history as a Klingon. Or what? No.
Correct.
Rami?
What?
What were you? Yeah,
Which?
a Ferengi. You are a Ferengi. All right. Human. But we are coming back in, and did anybody have anything exciting happen? There are a few moments of freedom? Indigestion?
I peed. It was glorious.
I'm trying
I
not.
kissed a boy.
Schnogging in the intermission. Classic move.
Larissa burped, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, that was a good one. That would have been. That was like grog fame. That was a. I should have let it.
You went
Should have
full
let her
tilt
rip.
on that. Oh my gosh, so somebody was drinking V8. See, hey, I wasn't that far off with my insanity. All right, so last we left
I had a
off,
V8.
half an hour plus a little bit ago, we were witnessing
A bit of
Tanzanite
despair.
and Bonnie facing this holy relic of sorts. And the cracks and fissures growing on it, horrified looks passing over Bonnie's face.
Oh
and meanwhile,
no!
two people in the
Our relic!
background sliding each other. All right, I need a
We
drink.
separated you by a few states, and we still can't stop you.
Love you, Jess.
I just keep looking at Bonnie and like pointing to it and going.
Okay, so go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
Persuasion?
Mm-hmm.
Do I get extraness because I have tears in my eye?
Is it persuasion or performance at this point?
Still persuasion.
Oh god. Okay, here we go. An 11.
The tears pooling in your eyes and the tears pooling in her eyes, and you just are looking at each other. And you all hear a crack as one of the fissures grows ever larger. It looks like it might fall.
Can I I don't know.
Is there like mud or any type of like
wet sand? Wet sand.
You're not even.
I didn't do it. I'm helping her come up with the idea.
That's.
All right, so you're looking around for some substance.
Yeah, I take my shovel and I try like poking around at the ground, trying to find some like a soft spot or something.
Yeah, there's plenty of sand without a roll. If you're looking for something specific, please let me know and then I'll have you roll for it. But there's plenty of sand around.
Something that seems like it would adhere. So I guess more like mud than sand. Something like.
I'd like to walk up and like look closely at the cracks. Like, can I tell like what material this is?
Why don't you roll an investigation check as you're getting in closer to it? You're not touching it, but you're getting closer to it. And why don't you, Trixie, go ahead and roll a. Let's do another investigation check because you're like actually digging around trying to find spots.
Can I plop as they're all doing this? Can I plop down and like go into a meditative state and be like, "Your thing is breaking. What do I do?"
What are you doing in this meditative state? Are you casting any spells? Are you just beseeching?
I'm just besieging.
Can you?
Is this thing on?
Is it possible to
Hello?
panic and meditate?
Okay, can you roll a religion check with disadvantage?
Oh no.
Beep 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 SOS beep 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 beep.
Okay. Oh no.
Oh no! I got a 19. by the
9.
way.
All right, I'm gonna hold that in my head for a little bit. Jason, what did Asher get?
5.
All right, I'm
We're
also
all
gonna hold that in my
useless.
head for a little bit.
I got a 19.
Trixie.
I don't know about yourself.
Trixie, what'd you get?
19.
So yeah, you do find a like digging around. You know, it's the good old shovel dousing method where you actually lift the sand out of the way to see what's beneath it, and you find a bit of this mucky, murky, probably decomposed seaweed and mud mix just beneath a layer of sand.
And it seems like it would be something that would hold once it dries out a little.
Given enough time to dry out, sure.
Okay. I'm gonna dig in a bunch of it. I'm gonna use my weight to pull it out, and I'm gonna lift it up, and I'm gonna kind of like waddle it over. I'm gonna take a great big handful, and I'm like, somebody give me a boost. Because I'm assuming I can't reach it.
I'm gonna like grab her on the waist and like lift her up to boost her up.
All right.
Watch my
She's
tail.
small. I'm sure that's absolutely possible, but what I would like you both to do is roll dexterity saving throws to see if you're able to keep balance without, touching.
That is
Dex save. Oy. Okay.
15.
Ooh. What is that? 22.
All right. So there's this moment, Asher, where you get Trixie up, where you start to feel like you're tilting the wrong way, but Trixie, you also, squirreliness being what you have,
My tail counterbalances.
tilt the opposite way, and you balance him out, and the two of you together kind of coordinate, standing.
And suddenly we're in the Dirty Dancing lift.
Yes. It's a Dirty Dancing lift, and you have that moment to like, oh, elbow lock, oh, push it through, and you're able to get.
And then we realize we're having the time of our life. The end.
So I'm trying to like
Mud pies.
take chunks out of it and like smear in the cracks gently, not like.
Oh, you're doing it like in the cracks above, not on the object itself, but up above. You're trying to like.
No, both. Like wherever I see a crack, I'm trying to like to fortify it to both
so
on the stalactites and the thing itself, so that like, yeah, I'm just trying to patch it.
Okay, roll a wisdom saving throw. Super high.
No pressure.
Dun dun dun.
It would be nice if someone would
Funny.
give me a boost. I'm just kidding. It's fine.
Wait.
Too late.
She's meditating distractedly.
Yeah, too late. Wisdom saving throw?
Yep.
7.
Yeah, you don't make this save. So you touch, and 500 years ago, you would have radiation poisoning and quickly perish. Half a millennia later, and the change in how the Earth operates and how this post-apocalyptic space has been transformed via all the crazy, wild human experiments that were done in the last throes of civilization before the final collapse. You touch it, and you black out.
No.
And you are unconscious. And could you roll a d20?
You are going back to bed. The naked roll is 6.
Mark 1 in the death column.
Oh no!
You are doing death saving throws.
saves.
You feel her collapse unconscious into your arms from here to just limp squirrel.
I'm gonna say some good poetry will make you feel much better, but you just get this. And I'm gonna cast Healing Word at the 3rd level.
All right, roll the heal for that.
I would love to. 1 second.
That escalated quickly.
Don't touchy the hot.
That is 4 to 5. 6. It's not much. 11.
So you regain 11 points of health from 0, which you did not necessarily realize you had. But as you come to consciousness, here's what happens in the moments preceding it. That you're only out for a few moments, but here's what has happened. You are transported temporarily. Can you describe to me what Trixie would have imagined her afterlife would be like?
What does squirrel heaven look like?
Maple
Giant
syrup
acorns
everywhere.
Not really.
I heard it's pretty nuts.
Acorn mush every day, morning, noon, and night.
Ugh.
Oh wait, that's her least favorite thing. She's not in the good spot. She's in the bad place.
When Trixie gets distracted, does she go, human?
I hate you. I guess if she had to say anything, because she doesn't release it, like she doesn't believe in anything like that. She's just very much like, this is like this is what I can touch, and this is what I can see, and
you know, she just touched the other end. So what happened to her?
I don't know. I would assume that maybe she's kind of like floating there for a second, and it's not like she's fully herself. It's more just like she feels a connection to something larger as a whole. But like it like there's no thought or memory or anything. It's just kind of a being that is peaceful and just, yeah.
So I'm going to add a little twist to this based on what you said. I think in addition, Trixie probably, she felt this merger, but as part of that merger, she felt her own identity and the things that make Trixie being submerged and stripped away as they were submerged into this greater thing. And she wasn't ready for that. And there was a bit of panic. And then there was a flood of something, and you were snapped out of it, and then snapped back into your real body, real life, your own identity, and disconnected from that thing. And it's a strange paradox of both sensing that you could be part of the universe as a whole, but also that you would lose those traits that make you, and you haven't really even figured out who that person is yet. You're still young, and you almost lost it all. The cracks continue to widen. The fissures continue to grow.
So don't do that. Ow. Put me down, please.
I put her down.
And I just kind of like onto my knees. Like, here is the mud. Have at it. I'm gonna sit here a bit.
I think we need to get out of here. This seems bad, and we should go. Tanzanite, wake up. Let's go.
Tanzanite, with your role, you're kind of trying to focus, and there's these things going on around you, but it's also super stressful. So connecting and having the patience to connect with a deity that literally reveres the end of life processes, the solemnity that goes with it, the postpartum experience of life after death. It's a tough call, and you're not able to connect. And then there's all these things going on around you, and it just makes it harder. And you hear Asher as you struggle to push in, but you just know that this is the last push, and you can't get to that meditative state. And you hear Asher, it's time to go.
I have my decanter. And is the thing just on the top one, or is it from the bottom one too?
Go ahead and roll an investigation roll if you're looking.
Oh, good. 4. I have tears in my eyes. I can't see anything.
It's your blurry vision, but also it's like, this is just a moment, and you do understand a little bit from Asher's statement that maybe it is time to run.
I'm gonna look at Bonnie. What is Bonnie's look of?
Bonnie's not understanding anything that's being said, just looking at the object with tears in her face to the door, to the exit. If you want to know more about what you could interpret from that, you can roll an insight check, but it's going to be a pretty high DC given the emotional level that's happened and how things have transpired so far.
I'm gonna try to just grab Bonnie's hand if she'll let me, and just no, I'm not. Trixie's on the ground, right? You sat down?
Yeah, she's in a recovery pose. Having experienced the closest thing that she has ever experienced to death.
What is my...
Yeah, I'm like, everything hurts.
She's not very big, so I'm gonna bend down and just baby carry her out.
So you start heading out. Asher, I'm assuming you're following or leading.
I'm gonna make sure Bonnie goes, but then I'll also go.
Easily enough to convince Bonnie to go. The moment she sees people headed out, she starts heading out as well. And the four of you head on out and stumble out, and you're at the back of the waterfall. The cliff is now kind of shaking, vibrating, similar to how the metaphysical vibration earlier on as you were coming to this place, but now it's definitely a physical vibration. The cliff is shaking, and there is the boat, the small mast in the middle of the skiff.
Yeah, I'm gonna run and jump on the boat and start getting it ready to go.
You race over, you jump into the boat. Is everybody else following suit?
Somebody
as quickly as I can, safely. I'll put her down and start getting the ship going as well. Whatever Asher kind of yells out, I'll try to do.
All right.
And
Asher,
I'll go to I'll go to Bonnie and be like, heh, and I'll point to Trixie.
She's quick to go to Trixie's side, and she appears to be doing something, hopefully helpful, trying to take care. Trixie, since it's happening to you, why don't you go ahead and roll a d20 for me to see what she's able to pull off.
This is going so well.
The two of you,
Blue for water,
Tanzanite and Asher.
Natural 20!
You live.
Can you go ahead and just really quickly roll dexterity checks to see how quickly you can get this boat out of here?
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh
no.
16.
7.
15 and 7?
16.
16.
I still have tears in my eyes. I'm like...
So you still got tears and snot, but Asher, you're able to get the boat settled in right. You can't get speed, but you're already aimed in the right direction. And there's a little bit of fear that you'll be spotted. You've been, as far as you are aware, unobserved up until now. But you haven't quite caught the speed because the sail hasn't been set quite correctly, but she is working on it. You can tell that she's working on it. You're untied from your quick temporary tie-on at the base of the cliff, and you're able to start making your way. Trixie, you feel an infusion of something, but it's countered a bit and pushed back against by whatever happened in there, and it's slowed down just a little bit. But you do regain 12 hit points. And I think anybody who observes Bonnie in this moment can see that she looks extremely drained. She almost looks as unhealthy as Trixie did just a moment ago. But the boat is moving, gaining speed slowly. Go ahead and, I think since Asher and Tanzanite are the ones most likely to be paying attention, just roll quick perception checks.
I turn to Bonnie and I say, "You want some syrup?"
She just looks at you quizzically, not understanding.
She's had it. She knows what it tastes like. I hold up the jar.
She also didn't like it.
This is very sweet. She never said she didn't like it.
She kind of gingerly reaches her hand out and puts her hand next to yours and holds it. Still a little confused.
I take my other hand and I pop the cork out. And I push it towards her. Slowly.
Yeah, pushes it back and aims it towards your mouth.
Don't mind if I do.
You can see her face is just a little bit like, oh yeah, it's probably apparent at this time that she finds the sweetness to be a little too much for her. All right, so perception checks. What'd you get? You are muted.
I got it 5.
You got
25.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, Asher,
I rolled a
you're
19.
intent on getting the boat aimed where it needs to be. You've got your focus on what you need to be doing. I think Tanzanite, you've wiped the tears from your eye, and maybe you haven't gotten the sail set perfectly, but you take a chance to look around behind you, and checking up at the cliff face, you see a tiny, tiny figure way up high, looking down on you. And then your gaze sweeping down immediately, you can see that the cliff face is cracking. And then there's a flash of light, which all of you see. And that flash of light both blinds any looker-ons. And everybody go ahead and just make a really quick, not so high wisdom saving throw. You should all be able to pass this because it only requires you to roll a 12 or higher.
Don't say that.
12. Beat a 12.
Fortunately, I rolled a 17 because I have a +0 for wisdom.
Oh, thank God.
Oh
no!
What?
12 total or higher. 12 total or higher.
What?
I was like, oh no, this is terrible. But I have a +6. I was like, oh, I'm great. I have an 11.
Oh no!
I'm running out of spells. Nobody die.
So
Y'all forget, I built mine to essentially be a healer, and I haven't healed like once.
noted. Tanzanite, that flash of light happens, and it kind of like just optics consumed for a moment. And go ahead and roll a d20.
Oh god.
Roll for retina.
Am I adding anything?
Nope.
9.
First death save.
Oh my god! Holy shit, this is like at that point the syrup kicks in.
Roll for syrup. This is now officially a thing. Roll for syrup. It's going to be an athletics check. Sugar rush mode.
I assume on this
Trixie jumping on top of Tanzanite.
No!
Wake up!
Athletics?
Wake up!
I assume on this very small boat that I see this happen. I guess you're
It's very obvious that she just laid out flat.
I'm gonna yell at Trixie like, "Hey, steer the boat!" And then I'm gonna like run over and just like panicky, like no poem, just freaking out, like put my hands on Tanzanite and healing word 2nd level. Or I don't know why I rolled that. All right, that is 7. 8, 9,
Okay, you have 7 hit
11.
points.
Sorry, 11. 11 hit points.
But Tanzanite, describe to us, what does the moment in the afterlife look like to you as you face that unconscious, but it could have been worse situation?
Jesus.
I would assume something very similar to the lake and the setup of that, like the death ceremony, like something similar to that, but more like what you would imagine like heaven to look like bright and happy and warm, but like that familiarness as well.
All right, so I'm going to take that and twist it a bit again.
It's like radioactive water.
You are in this space, but it is very much an aquatic environment. And while your brain might interpret it as light, it's actually the dark of the water. It's the deeper, darker crevices. It's the Andreas Trench of spaces. So while you identify that as light in your brain, it was in fact the darkness of a space that is peaceful, cool, deep sea. So that takes us to 2 people potentially having been in mortal peril, and 1 person I have to roll for. Everybody roll a perception check really quick.
How close am I? How close am I to?
Oh my god.
To Tanzanite.
Shit.
Like, am I within arm's reach?
So between Asher yelling out, "Steer the boat," and you, what did you roll for your athletics check?
8.
8. I would say that you probably tripped over a coil of lines in your sugar rush moment, and you haven't really made any progress yet. You got a little closer. It's not a big boat.
Okay, I'm gonna like stand on 1 foot and wrap my tail around the handle for the rudder, at like as almost like a balancing thing, and I'm just gonna like reach out my fingers and like I don't know if I have to. I don't know if I technically have to touch her, but I want to like try to like boop her and
Boop.
do
Mercy
hand
punch.
healing. Yeah.
I like mercy punch better. Yeah, go ahead and roll the hit points for that, and then roll an athletics check after
Again?
that.
Okay.
Or acrobatics check.
Okay. I need to remember
Asher.
what the actual.
What'd you roll for your perception check while she's rolling those things?
5.
5.
Not a very
What'd you roll
perceptive journey for me today.
No worries. Tanzanite, what did you roll for yours?
Oh, sorry, what? I'm looking at all my
What'd you roll
spells
for your
and shit.
perception check?
Perception was an 11.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, I am going to grab. I'm going to do this one.
I'm actually finally reading through all my spells.
You selected them.
I know.
That is.
Some of them I did very quickly.
That is 9 hit points.
9.
Awesome.
The max I can give you.
Nice. Ooh.
And then I rolled a.
I don't want to brag. I gave her 11, but whatever. It's cool.
Yeah, well, I
20
only get to
together.
roll a d6. I'm supposed to hit things, not heal them.